Thank you, Chair. Dr. Mashazi, then just to close up on the conversation we're having, I referred you to Annexure RS 18, which is the directive by Chief Mapieye regarding vetting. If it had come to your attention at the time that there were heads of units who refused to comply with that important directive, would you have insisted, no, what view would you have held at the time? Let me rather ask.
I would have insisted.
On what?
On them being vetted and on the police doing his job.
And what steps would you have suggested be taken against the divisional head who refuses to comply with this directive?
For the chief of police to discipline his immediate and also discipline those that are below him.
So in this case, the evidence before the commission is that Mr. Mkhwanazi refused to have himself vetted and members of his unit. Are you suggesting that the appropriate action to take against him is disciplinary action?
Accept.
Thank you. I'm moving on to another question. Our next question then would be question 5, starting at your... Yes,
Chair. My colleagues and I have quite a clutter here. Which file should we get rid of? Obviously, Dr. Mashazi's statement and what else?
Yes. I'm advised that perhaps you get rid of everything except keep close by Mapieye annexure and SPIS annexures. There is another file we will get to, but it's much later. And by then we would have gotten rid of these two.
Thank you.
Before I close that chapter, for the record, you recall we had a conversation and engagement regarding what you said were your annexure IM 17 and 18, which were the screen grabs of your WhatsApp, from your WhatsApps. And I suggested to you that you mischaracterized what Mr. Niza had said in his statement. I read out his statement, which implied that it was a normal call, not a WhatsApp call. It has been brought to our attention by your attorneys that during oral testimony on the 12th of November, transcript page 31, line 19, Mr. Niza stated as follows, and he was specifically drawn to paragraphs 45 and 46, and the one I read out to you, 46, is where he suggested it missed a normal call. In response to that, he states from line 12, rather, yes, so we did indeed receive the extension request from the Chief of Police, and I discussed it with Kasheka, the HOD HR, and she agreed. She agreed that indeed we shall effect the extension of the suspension and that the request was provided to Kasheka on the 22nd of May 2023. On the night of the 23rd of May 2023, I saw that on my WhatsApp I had missed a call from Dr. Mashazi, the city manager. You heard that. So I wanted to correct the record because my question had implied that it was not a WhatsApp call, as he had stated in his statement. But in oral testimony, he himself described it as a WhatsApp call he had missed from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also, I do not have missed calls. If there's a missed call from the WhatsApp, I could have seen it.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I accept the corrections from your side.
Thank you. So gracious of you.
Mr. No, on the issue of the missed call, yes. I thought it was the other way around. Mr. Niza said he had missed a call.
Yes, Mr. Niza in his paragraph 46 in the statement said he had missed a call from Dr. Mashazi. And in oral testimony says on that same night, the date is correct, I saw that on my WhatsApp I had missed a call from Dr. Mashazi.
Now, Dr. Mashazi in her response says she doesn't have a missed call on her WhatsApp.
Yes, that's her evidence. And therefore, if just to complete that, Commissioner, I had suggested that the annexures she had provided, which are screen grabs of her WhatsApp communication, don't have a bearing on the question of whether or not she had called Mr. Niza on the day in question. But based on his testimony that it was a WhatsApp call, then that annexure has to be relevant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Commissioner Balwe.
Dr. Mashazi, just still on the vetting issue, maybe just to complete it. Commissioner Spies, when he testified on the 10th of November, he said that in a meeting, there was a meeting of senior management. You were not in that meeting, but Brigadier Mkhwanazi was in that meeting. And in that meeting, Commissioner Spies, gave a report on the vetting issue and the fingerprinting report. He had a fingerprinting report to give in the context of the vetting issue. And then Brigadier Mkhwanazi was displeased about that process. And I'm trying to summarize his evidence. He says that he physically took, what I do say is that your section did not provide their fingerprints. This is Spies, he says this to Mkhwanazi, and they refused to provide their fingerprints. I'm not saying you have a criminal record. And Spies says, and he just kept on screaming at me in front of all of us in the meeting. He physically took his phone out and he started phoning and he speak. You can clearly hear he's speaking to the city manager, Imogen Mashazi, and he puts the phone down and he says, the city manager says, this process will stop immediately. And he turned around, he walked out in an extremely disrespectful manner, closed the door. And then the chief Mapiaye then calmed us all down and said, stop, do not discuss further anything here. He will go and speak to the city manager afterwards and he will calm everything down and we must just carry on our work. And then he further lastly says, and from that meeting then, the very next day, I received an email from Kasheka wherein she stated that the process must stop and we must submit everything to them. At that stage, I had already prepared what we call a council item. Do you know anything, firstly, do you know anything about this part where he says Brigadier Mkhwanazi picked up his phone and he was speaking to you on the phone? You know anything about the vetting issue?
I don't know anything, and I would say that the statement is untrue and worrisome. I never made that statement.
Did Chief Mapiaye never ever speak to you about the refusal of Brigadier Mkhwanazi that his team should be vetted?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then, do you know anything about Mr. Sheka's involvement with this vetting issue?
I am not aware, unless she sees with me, but I'm not aware.
Okay. And did you ever become aware of Commissioner Spies' council item on this issue? An item that he prepared that was to be submitted to council?
Well, if it's an item that was supposed to be submitted to council, obviously it had reached council. There's no item that are prevented, especially in terms of processes and systems or processes that are geared to improve the performance and also enforce compliance and governance. I wouldn't stop such items.
And that item would have come through you? Because yes, I understood you saying EMPD accounts to council through you.
No, the item would come to me. All the items that go to or that serve in the mayoral committee, these are the items of the accounting officer emanating from the department.
Yes.
Then from the mayoral committee, the items become the responsibility of the mayor or the executive mayor's item. That's why he's the one who will speak on items in council. I only speak to items in the mayoral committee. Okay.
Well, I think what I'm trying to understand is that if Commissioner Spies is correct, if he's correct that he then prepared a council item, for that item to end up at council eventually, it would have had to go through your office because he doesn't have direct access.
Exactly.
That's all I'm checking.
Exactly.
Okay, and you don't remember such an item?
I do not recall. If there is an item, obviously, as an accounting officer, as I indicated, that I do support the vetting in terms of the legislation.
Yes.
If there was such an item, obviously, it ended up in council being a council item.
But, yeah, I guess I'm trying to understand whether do you have knowledge of what Commissioner Spies is talking about when he talks about an item that was going to go to council?
Yes, ma'am.
You know about it. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. In all fairness to you, Dr. Mashazi, I think I should bring something to your attention. Can I refer you to Annexure IM 17, your annexure, your file? The WhatsApp screen grabs.
Yes, ma'am.
IM 17, page 55.
Page 17.
IM 17, page 55.
55. Yes, ma'am.
Now, that IM 17, do you confirm to the commissioners that it is a true reflection of what appears in your phone?
Exactly, ma'am.
Do you confirm that you have not deleted anything in that WhatsApp communication before you submitted?
I do confirm that I did not delete anything.
We have been furnished with a WhatsApp screenshot from another phone, Mr. Ngiza's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's incumbent upon me to inform you that it is similar to your IM 17, except after that information notice 4 of 2023, there is an entry of 23rd May 2023, which reflects a missed call at 1813, followed by the document that appears at the bottom of page 55, which is of the 4th of August 2023.
Okay.
And Mr. Ngiza will be required to file a supplementary statement in this respect. From your IM 17. What is your comment to that?
My comment is I do not have knowledge of that, and he must prove, or in fact, this must be proved by the service provider. The service provider that is responsible for calls and whatever, call logs and so forth. From my screenshot, I do not have information that Mr. Ngiza called me. Be as it may that it was a missed call, but I do not have that information in terms of my screenshot.
And I'm putting it to you that over the same time period, his phone indicates a missed call from you. Do you have a comment?
No comment.
Okay. Can I then invite a comment to, and this I say on the assumption that he will file a proper supplementary statement with the supporting screenshots, that what you submitted as IM 17 has been manipulated. Do you have a comment to that?
I don't have a comment. Manipulation, no.
Okay. I then want us to move to the next question, and our next question would be question 5, starting at page 14 of your statement. And this concerns the question of the application for leave of absence signed by by Chief Mapieye, dated 18 March 2023 and approved by the city manager, yourself, that is. You respond to that question from paragraph 79 to 84. And I invite you to summarize your response, so for the benefit of the commissioners. Thank you.
Okay, on the 16th of August 2023, I held a meeting with Chief of Police in my office regarding the challenges in the department. And in terms of he exhausted, he is experiencing significant emotional strain and he required time away. That was on the 16th. And from that meeting, both of us, we agreed that we should actually call his immediate subordinates to inform them, to also get the understanding of the challenges in the department, and also request a turnaround plan in terms of the department's functionality. Then on the 27th, we indeed convened that meeting, myself and Chief. In the meeting, there was HOD, HR Linda Kasheka, where she took minutes. During this meeting, I expressed concerns about the state of affairs in the EMPD because there were a lot of issues that emanating from junior personnel, the new recruits, plus minus 400 to 500, that were appointed and did not have tools of trade like your firearms, and they were sent out there in the street. There were a lot of media queries, social media queries that how do we send and how are they going to protect the citizens without firearms? Over and above that, there were also a lot of challenges in terms of labor relation matters in the department that were actually not dealt with properly. Then from this meeting, we requested that Chief of Police, as he requested time off, we requested that he should actually draft a recovery plan, sort of a turnaround. Officers do have uniform, they have firearms, and he concludes the tender for firearms, because by then, when we discussed this thing, there was no tender for firearms. And they kept on coming to me with a deviation. And it has been my practice since the first term of office that I am not going to approve any deviation. If we look at the book that I've written and also at the audio of HODs during my farewell party, one indicated that the city manager was clear about governance. If we go to her, if we fail to manage your contract and you go to her without, with a deviation, you must also go with the resignation. That is how serious we were in terms of governance. So there was nothing in the department, and hence we requested this meeting. Emanating from the meeting, obviously, we've annexed the minutes that were taken by Kasheka, and the turnaround plan that was requested.
I would like to refer you to, and you don't have to go there, I'll read it for you. It's Chief Mapie's statement, paragraph 104. Chief Mapie states that on the 15th of August, he delivered to you a letter of intent to institute proceedings against the city regarding the precious stones theft allegedly committed by members of EMPD who were reporting directly to Brigadier Mkhwanazi. When I delivered it to her, she challenged me on the fact that the letter does not make any reference to Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and neither does he appear in the attached pictures. She suggested that I was persecuting Brigadier Mkhwanazi and was biased towards him and threatened to suspend me with immediate effect. She immediately corrected herself and told me that she was actually suspending me with immediate effect. I have just read paragraph 104 of Chief Mapie's statement. My first question to you is, did you see the letter that the letter of demand that Chief Mapieya references regarding alleged theft of precious stones by members of EMPD who report to Brigadier Mkhwanazi.
Thanks. I need to correct the fact that he came to me on the 15th. He came to me on the 16th, where I raised the issues I've raised. The report about the precious stones, we found it in the bundle, and also in the bundle from Mapieya and them. He himself never discussed this with me. And for me, it's fabrication of information that I ask him, where's Julius? I mean, if there's a suit, 45 million litigation against the city, as an accounting officer, I must be worried and do something, rather than looking for a face of some junior official.
And this letter of demand is annexure 24 to Chief Mapieya's statement. If you could turn to that document, please, Chief Mapieya's annexures, annexure 24. Page 112.
112.
And for the record, it should read JM24. It should be marked JM24. This is a letter, a notice, in fact, in terms of Section 3 of the Institution of Legal Proceedings against Certain Organs of State, Act 40 of 2002. The subject line reads, Peter Jacobus, Prinsloo, versus the Minister of Police, that's the first, the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality and the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department. You see that? I see on the face of this document that it bears 3 stamps, the first being the Ministry of Police against the address of the Ministry of Police, and I read that to be confirmation of receipt of the letter. It's then followed by the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality, and once again it bears a stamp of the Metropolitan Police. Then, there's a stamp of Metropolitan Police, although slightly misplaced, because the third party is the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department, and there is a City of Ekurhuleni received stamp dated 15/08/2023. This is the claim for 45 million and complaint against certain members of EMPD who acted unlawfully, with the result that a citizen in Killarney was robbed of a certain quantity of precious stones. The first issue is, besides the unlawfulness of the act, is the fact that these members were acting outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni municipality, being in Killarney. As a consequence of their actions, the city is now facing a claim, a potential claim of 45 million for damages. You confirm that your office received this demand, letter of demand?
Yes, we received this. My office did receive. Maybe I should explain the process. Any summons that the city receives, because some of them are urgent and whatever, they go directly to the HOD legal, to the legal department. Obviously, the summons went to the department from my office to the HOD legal to assist us to defend the case, because they have panel of attorneys.
Although we're not talking about a summons here, I take it you considered the content of this document, and in particular noted the importance of the allegations in that members of the city EMPD, which is part of the Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Municipality, not only undertook unlawful acts out in the public, but did so outside the jurisdiction of Ekurhuleni. I won't pose a question, I'll make a suggestion to you that ought to have been an exceptionally disturbing state of affairs. Was it equally disturbing to you?
Agreed.
And it came to your attention?
It came to my attention, but not through the way Chief is alleging.
Did you engage Chief Mapieye on the content of this very disturbing notice?
As I indicated, ma'am, that the process, when we receive summons, my PA urgently takes the summons to the corporate and legal. She records them and take them directly to corporate and legal to defend.
But these are not summons. This is not a summons.
It's a letter of demand.
Yes.
And
the contents of which you became aware.
I became aware because it was served in my office,
Yeah, indeed.
and it was sent to corporate and legal.
And I'm asking whether, on becoming aware of the contents of this document, did you take up this exceptionally serious issue with the Chief of Police, Chief Mapieye?
Chief Mapieye, remember I indicated that I took the document straight. The document was taken straight to corporate and legal.
I heard that.
We never had a chance of discussing this thing with Mapieye because for already is a letter of demand that needs legal attention. Because if we do not address the letter of demand, we'll get summons, litigations, and so forth. Because in terms of letter of demand, the litigation is about 46 million, which is concerning for the city and concerning to me as an accounting officer.
You seem more concerned about the value of the demand and less about the conduct of EMPD officers.
It's incorrect, ma'am. I agree.
You agree that you are more concerned about the 45 million?
No.
Okay. Sorry, the dean coming from next door is interfering with my hearing. And hence my question. And my question is premised on the assumption that this is not a daily occurrence. It ought to have come as an absolute shock to you. Mm-hmm. And I want to understand from you whether it was sufficiently shocking that you demand that Chief Mapieye engage you on the contents of this notice. Was it that shocking to you? Or you thought it is an issue that could be discussed in the course of time?
For me, there are two things. It was about the serious misconduct of his officers. Two, the issue of the city being dragged into this, and the issue of, in terms of the issue of litigation. So hence I'm saying legal documents, and I'll reiterate again, that I cannot interpret legal documents. If there's a letter of demand or summons or whatever, they will go to HOD Behar. I wouldn't waste time because immediately I want to sit with a report like this in the office, and there are a lot of reports, and wasting time in terms of letter of demand or summons and whatever. I've been summoned to different courts within Gauteng, where issues of this nature have actually happened. The misconduct, the briberies and so forth, and lack of implementation of awards and so forth. So I really don't want to waste time. I did not want to waste time.
I appreciate. But I'm more interested in the content, what you did with it. As you can see from page 117, attached to the notice were pictures, color pictures. Unfortunately, the copies we had ever black and white, so it is difficult to make out who is who in those pictures. But Chief Mapieye testified that the original was forwarded to IPID and that those pictures are in color, and that in those color photographs, members of EMPD are easily recognizable. What I want to engage you on is not about how you treat summons. It's about how you treated this issue vis-a-vis the Chief of Police. It is concerning to me that you didn't even bother to have a conversation with him.
Thank you, ma'am. Did you ask the same question because he is the executive CEO of the department? Did you ask him that question? What did he do about this?
Yes, I asked
because it has nothing to do with the accounting officer. He has a function and powers from the SEPS Act that he must discipline, he must do 1, 2, 3. He's given those powers, and we discussed those powers at length this morning. that he is empowered to do 1, 2, 3 in terms of the Service Act, to discipline members, to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I think it's a bit unfair that these questions are now posed to me while he failed to do his duties as an accounting officer of the department or as an executive director in terms of the Service Act.
Okay, it was, and you recall I read from his statement where he said, according to this document, it's got a date stamp of the 8th of August, 2023, which is the date on which the EMPD received it. Your office received it later, actually, on the 15th. And on the 15th, he came to your office to discuss this document and show you, according to him, the problems being experienced and illegal acts performed by members of EMPD. And rather than engage with the contents of this document, you took issue with him that he appears biased towards Mkhwanazi, where in circumstances where Mkhwanazi is not on any of the pictures. That is his evidence before this commission. So yes, we did engage him on that.
I did not engage him on that. I indicated that I had a meeting with the chief on the 16th, not even on the 15th. And the issues that I raised, it was about the dysfunctionality of the department, not even this. Not even this. So I will request, ma'am, that the responsibility of dealing with issues lies with Chief of Police. He was supposed to be asked questions, what did you do with the document? Because in terms of the act, he's the one who's supposed to take action against the misconduct of his officers.
I agree with you. And yes, that's a conversation we've been having since morning regarding his powers. What we are discussing is slightly different, which is the concern by the Chief of Police and the concern by the city manager about the contents of that document. And you appear not to have any concerns regarding the contents of that document. So much so that you confirm you didn't initiate a conversation with Chief Mapieye about what's stated in there, and you suggest that neither did Chief Mapieye.
I reiterate that Chief Mapieye was supposed to take action on this particular document. My issue is for summons and ensure that the city is not litigated. But I take your point that he failed to do his duty, not mine. It is not my responsibility to discipline junior officials.
And it is not your responsibility, then I take it, is it a proper interpretation as to what members of EMPD do? It's not your responsibility, and neither is it your concern. Do I understand you correctly?
My concern, like I indicated, the reporting lines, the Chief of Police reports to me. The subordinates, whether it's managers, executive managers, in terms of the legislation, they report to him.
Yes.
And he ought to have taken steps against this misconduct.
So then I must accept that if this team of people, or even more, all registered with EMPD, went around the province killing people at will, it's not a matter that will perturb you. And any failings by the Chief of Police to take action against those people is a matter to be left at the Chief of Police's doorstep. And you should never be engaged on such matters as a city.
I should be engaged. Remember,
at what level and when?
Remember, Chief of Police is like in terms of the questions from this morning, it's like I'm personal with him. There are a lot of labor issues in that department. Too much.
This is crime issues, Doctor. It's not labor issues.
No, let me finish, okay. Ma'am. Can I be allowed to talk?
By all means,
and
I apologize.
Be free. There are a lot of labor issues, there are a lot of misconduct issues, and there are a lot of criminality issues in that department.
Yes.
And as I indicated that we appoint HODs on the basis of their strength, especially around qualification and experience. And we believe at that point when we appointed Chief of Police that he will turn around the department and ensure compliance and deal with all the criminality that is that is happening in the department. We thought he would do that. But it cannot therefore be my sole responsibility to enforce that. Chief ought to have enforced that all members are actually vetted, and all members who actually are found to be wanting in terms of criminality are actually dealt with, including IPAD.
Can I?
Yeah, yes, Commissioner.
Can I just maybe test this? Chief Mapiaye reports to you in the same way as Mr. Sheka reports to you. You receive this notice of intention to institute legal proceedings. There's an amount involved, but more importantly, there's allegations of criminal conduct from members of the EMPD. Surely it's not good enough for you. It cannot be good enough, and please say if you disagree and why. It cannot be good enough that you say, well, Chief Mapiaye is the one that was supposed to institute disciplinary proceedings. I took this demand and I sent it to legal, and that's the end of my role. He's your direct report. On a serious matter of criminal conduct, such as serious and huge financial exposure potentially to the city, I would expect my city manager to ask Kasheka, are you aware of this? I want a report. If Kasheka is the right person, and from what you're saying, it sounds she's not even the right person, but somehow she gets involved in Kwanazi's matters. But I would expect at the very least that the city manager who receives this notice says to Mapiaye, I want a report. I want to know what you're doing about these criminal people that are in our system that have gone and robbed someone outside jurisdiction. And I'm concerned that your attitude is, well, he's the boss. If he didn't do it, don't look at me. Surely that he reports to you means something. Do you want to comment?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I comment by saying that in the morning we discussed his powers that he reports directly to council in terms of the SAPS Act and his responsibility to discipline members. And there's no way where it says the accounting officer must discipline members, including the systems of delegation. It is actually delegated to him. So I did not follow the discussion during his testimony as to whether such question was asked to him, what did he do with this? Despite claiming that he had a meeting with me to show me the pictures and whatever. That for me is still an allegation, and he must confirm it. The onus is on him to confirm that he did have a meeting and he indicated this. This report, it's an official report. It is with legal to defend the city. The issue of discipline still lies with the chief of police.
What does it mean? Maybe let's go back to basics. What does it mean when you say he exercises his powers inter alia, subject to your directives? Well, what does that mean?
Remember, we discussed that fact that the council has appointed him as the head of policing.
Yes.
And I argue that in as much as he's appointed, we need to read the SAPS Act in conjunction with the Systems Act as well as the systems of delegation. So if he fails in his duties, obviously, as an accounting officer, I need to deal with it.
Yes.
I need to deal with it.
Yes. And you're saying, sorry, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, okay. In this particular matter,
yes,
he did not discuss this thing with me. He never had a meeting with me on the 15th of, I've forgotten.
August.
Of August.
Yes.
I only had a meeting with Chief of Police on the 16th, where we discussed the dysfunctionality of the department. That such things, some of these things are some of the things that came up from the members, that we have this and this and this, we do not have tools of trade, we do not have this. Yes. That's why I had to call that meeting and address some of the things.
Okay, I'm really dealing with this limited issue. You receive a letter or a notice to institute legal proceedings. It claims about 45 million from the city. It alleges criminal conduct on the part of your employees. They are employees of the city. They're not Mapiaye's city. You're the CEO, you've told us. So they are your employees. They are accused of criminal conduct. Your testimony, as I understand it, is, well, I did my part. I forwarded this to legal, and that's the end of my involvement. What happens discipline-wise with these employees, it's not my issue, it's a MAPA matter. I struggle with that when you say he's accountable to you and you don't seem to hold him accountable for this. And then you come here, you say, well, he didn't do anything about it. The question is, well, why did you not hold him accountable for this? And it seems your answer is, well, it had nothing to do with me. I am concerned about that.
Well, maybe it's an oversight from my side that I did not pursue him to actually. I mean, I have so many HODs, I can't be sitting on one person. And for me, I accept that it's an oversight for not making him to account.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. As a matter of interest, we dealt with one issue earlier, which is the statutory requirement for vetting for EMPD members. And you subsequently learned that Brigadier Mkhwanazi refused to subject himself to vetting and equally refused that members of his unit be subjected to that. Now we are discussing issues such as illegal conduct, criminal conduct by members of EMPD. And your response is that, if I understood you correctly, that is the responsibility of the Chief of Police. As a matter of interest, when you account to council as regards EMPD, I take it you do so on the basis of an assessment of performance by the chief. What are his KPIs, his key performance indicators, to your recollection? You've served 2 terms. You shouldn't have too much difficulty recalling at least some key ones.
The key ones in terms of the core competencies is strategic direction, governance, financial management, yeah, I can't remember others. Remember, out of the system and performance contracts of HODs. The last time I assessed them, it was last year, and I can't recall exactly what is the content of that. But he is responsible for strategic direction, for communication, for a whole lot of things. I don't have a copy. If we can be afforded to give you a copy of that, we'll do that.
Okay. Now, you testified earlier that actually the meeting you had with Chief Mapie was on the 16th, not the 15th, as he alleges, correct?
The 16th, yes.
The 16th. And you say the purpose of that meeting was for him to tell you that I think he's exhausted, and I'm paraphrasing here, so if I misquote you, please correct me, and that he would like to take special leave. That was the content of your conversation there, you stated.
I reported that the purpose of the meeting, myself and Chief, we discussed the dysfunctionality of the department.
Okay.
And out of the discussion, he indicated to me he's exhausted. He will request leave. He requests leave for him to deal with his mental exhaustion and so forth and so forth. So then we both agreed that we should address his subordinates. I'm repeating myself anyway. We should call an urgent meeting with his subordinate, which took place on the 17th, where we addressed them, both of us.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Commissioner.
Advocate Silo. Dr. Mashazi, who does the Chief of Police's assessment in terms of performance?
It's myself.
It's you. Before August 2023, when last had you done the assessment?
I don't recall. I'll have to check my records.
Am I correct that he was reappointed as Chief of Police in 2022?
You are correct.
And you would have recommended his appointment?
Yes, I did.
Why would that have been the case if the department was so dysfunctional and, according to you, he was not performing well?
That is, the meeting was in 2024, where the department was starting to. My meeting with them was in
it's 2023.
2023. Yeah, he was reappointed in 2022.
Yes.
We were both appointed on the same day, and I was part of the panel. He performed at the interview. You appoint a person on the basis that his performance. And in 2023, I could see that the department is going down, as I was receiving complaints that the officers do not have uniform, do not have firearms. I became concerned and called him. We had a meeting where we discussed these issues, and he later requested that he's exhausted, he can't deal with matters.
I'm assuming you would have done, I'm just looking at his appointment letter here. It is dated 29 April 2022. I'm assuming you would have done his annual performance assessment in April, May of 2023.
Yes.
And you would have rated his performance good?
Yeah, maybe for the benefit of the commissioners, in terms of the performance issue, there's a fly here. I don't know, it's a sabotage. In terms of performance indicators, each and every HOD, they draw performance indicators according to the budget allocated. That's why it is linked to the SDBIP, that is Service Delivery Budget Implementation Plan. They draw those from the IDP, which is our 5-year contract. So chief key performance indicators, he was rated good. But these are small issues that will emerge as and when you hear that officers do not have firearms, obviously does not have a key performance indicator of ensuring that their firearms or whatever. So these are the issues that will emerge on a going basis in terms of his operations or operations of any HOD. For instance, you can't have millions of performance indicators and measure a person on millions of performance indicators. There are certain areas that are gray areas that are not part of the performance indicators. That's why you'll find that even the HODs who are not managing departments properly, but when they go for performance assessment, they do well because they've actually crafted the performance indicators according to their strength and according to the budget allocated to them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sir, can I?
Yes, Commissioner Mole.
From this discussion, and please forgive me for taking you back, but I'm going to ask because it's bothering me. Why would you recommend his appointment in 2022 if you have complaints about his inappropriate criminal conduct of abusing power, abusing employees in the workplace? How do you justify that you have that concern which you share with us today, which was never shared at council? You never raised this. You never caused an investigation. In 2022, you recommend him to be appointed. How do you square that up?
Remember, in terms of formal complaint, I only received the formal complaint now about his sexual harassment case and so forth. Others, as I indicated, ma'am,
Yes.
it was a group of these EMPD officials who cried out to me that as women or as females, we are not promoted unless
No, please,
1, 2, 3.
I know what you're saying. You
Yes.
said it in the morning.
Yes.
But something has come up now. You recommended his appointment in 2022. You told us in the morning when you were appointed originally in 2016, I think it is, you received these complaints about him and other men in the department. We know you did nothing about it. And your explanation is I didn't have anything in writing, but you mentioned him by name. Among the others, you don't mention him, you mention by name. In 2022, you recommend his appointment. Someone that you're making serious allegations about, serious, which have consequences for even the metro. I mean, if the metro, if employees say, well, we told our city manager and no measures were put in place to protect us against these pests in the workplace. Not only that, you in 2022 recommend his appointment. I think that is deeply problematic.
Thank you, Chair. Remember when I introduced this particular program, I worked hand in hand with Chief. He complied with me. Hence, I indicated in the morning that each celebration, and he also assisted me to ensure that these women are actually uplifted. In terms of appointment, he took over. And in terms of promotion or ensuring that they get bursaries, he took over. He was complying with me. So for me, it was not a problem. The problem became when a formal complaint came. And it was not going to be fair for me to actually disqualify him on generalized allegations.
Thank you, Dr. Mashazi.
You see, Dr. Mashazi, the problem is that you want this commission to consider those issues that you say you became aware of in 2014, 2016, 2017. Yet in 2022, you were comfortable to recommend his appointment as Chief of Police. And on an annual basis, you were rating his performance as good, admittedly based on the measurements and the criteria that was being used, not on everything. But it is a concern that you come to this commission and you mention the things you heard about him, 2016, 2014. The drunk driving case, for example, was 2014. You didn't see that as an obstacle as far as his appointment and reappointment as Chief of Police. But when you come to this commission, you want this commission to take those things into account.
As I indicated, that the issue about sexual harassment and also coercing on officials and so forth, there was no formal complaint. The issue about the accident and so forth, this is the information that we get now from the witnesses or people who are concerned about the statements that we made here in the commission. Remember, the commission is watched by officials also of the city, including the unions, and they know in the institution what is happening. Their members are actually affected. And I saw in one of the social media things that there was one union that was here to be heard about the lies that were spoken in the commission. So it was not going to be fair on my side to actually discredit Chief of Police based on the allegations that are now coming out.
Thank you, Dr. Mashazi. I want us then to turn to the meeting of the 17th of August 2023, and you deal with this at your page 14, paragraphs 81.2 and 81.3. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
And at 81.3, you summarize the purpose of the meeting thus. During this meeting, I expressed serious concern about the state of EMPD, describing it as dysfunctional. Among the issues raised was the fact that approximately 500 junior officers did not have firearms, an unacceptable operational and safety failure by Chief Mapieya. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Why didn't that meeting of the 17th include the criminal conduct of members of EMPD? Because you had been duly notified of their conduct in terms of JM24, which is that notice tendered by Chief Mapieya. Why didn't they, if you are going to call the senior leadership of EMPD to complain or to engage on issues that approximately 500 junior officers did not have firearms, why didn't you extend that discussion to the fact that some of the EMPD officers abused the very firearms that they are issued to commit criminal conduct? Because you knew of that conduct by then. Why didn't you extend that meeting to cover such issues?
The meeting covered the dysfunctionality of the department, obviously, all the deputies and the managers in the department, they raised a lot of issues about even that one, that there are officers who are committing crime and whatever. So that's why I requested Chief to actually draft the turnaround plan.
A turnaround plan for criminal conduct?
How, to deal with all these issues, because
No, I'm more interested in a turnaround plan dealing with criminal conduct. Is that what you asked him to do?
Everything included.
Have you ever seen one such operational, the turnaround strategy or plan?
I beg your pardon?
Have you ever seen, in your experience as city manager, such a turnaround plan on how to deal with criminal conduct within the city?
Can you repeat your question? Is that a question or a comment?
Have you, Dr. Mashazi, in your long experience within the city, ever come across a turnaround plan for criminal conduct by members of the police force?
It included everything.
I'm interested in the criminal conduct specifically. I just wanted to know if you've ever seen one, to ask of Chief Mapeye to produce one.
Chief Mapeye, for starters, he was supposed to discipline those members. But if he failed, obviously, we need to understand from strategic point of view, what are his challenges in implementing some of the things that he's supposed to implement, like your consequence management in terms of criminality in the department and other financial misconduct that are happening in the department.
You conclude that 81.3, having summarized what the purpose of the meeting was, by attaching what you call an operational plan emanating from the meeting, and you attach that as annexure IM 14. If we could turn to IM 14 of your annexure file, it starts at page 49. Have you found IM 14?
Yes, ma'am.
The actual document starts at IM 50. It's a 2-page document. No, I lied. It's the 4-page document, or 3 to be precise. It's numbered 2 of 4 to 4 of 4. That makes 3 pages. My first question is, who generated this document? Do you know? Is it yourself?
It's the HOD HR. She was part of the meeting, Linda Gasheka.
That's Mr. Sheka. When did she do so?
I do not specifically recall the date, but she took the minutes during the meeting. A meeting that was held on the 17th.
17th of August.
Yes.
It does indicate that it's minutes of the meeting held on the 17th of August, 2023. My little challenge with this document is it is headed minutes of a meeting held on the 17th of August, 2023. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then it sets out a plan, what you call the turnaround plan, in the same document.
Yes.
Which actually by right would have been developed after that meeting. Why is the plan part of the same meeting when the decision to produce such a plan was only taken on the 17th of August?
From this, these are the minutes of the meeting, and this was discussed, and this is how we agreed. But the chief of police was expected to draft a turnaround plan for the department.
And that expectation was expressed to him on the 17th of August?
It was expressed to him.
And it's because there was no plan at the time?
To date, I do not have a plan.
So what is this that we are looking at?
We are looking, I'm still waiting for the turnaround plan. This is operational plan in terms of what transpired during the meeting. And these are the minutes that were taken by Linda Gasheka. You can see all the points that we raised. the scope, theme, the dysfunctionality and collapsing of the department, low staff morale. These are the issues that were raised in the meeting: revenue, procurement processes, dispute, grievances, integrity and standard functions, employee benefits, building maintenance, tools of trade, uniform. These are the issues.
My challenge with that, and I understand what you're saying, is at page 50, the author of this document, you say, is Mr. Shekhar. Just before the table, with the heading Performance Index, the last two sentences read, the following plan has been put in place in the form of a performance index, which management must operationalize. So that, as I understand it, unless I'm misreading the document, is the outcome of the meeting of the 17th.
Exactly.
So what is the outcome doing in the minute of the 17th? That's the part I don't understand. Because this plan did not exist as of the 17th of August. It was still to be developed.
Okay.
Do you have an explanation for that oddity?
Remember, I requested the HOD to take minutes, and I requested the chief to produce a turnaround plan. And during his suspension, he came to my house to request to get understanding in terms of the framework of how to craft the turnaround plan. He came to my house during his suspension. This one, it is this document is produced by the HOD Gasheka in relation to the outcome of our meeting. And I cannot attach a date exactly because it is not even dated. But she's referring to the meeting that was held on the 17th.
And it would be a fair reading if anyone interpreted this to mean that the plan set out in those 3 pages was part of the meeting of the 17th of August, and that would be incorrect. That's correct. It would be incorrect. So it misrepresents the true position of that meeting as at the date it took place. This document before us misrepresents the true position of that meeting as at the 17th of August.
How so?
Because it includes a plan which was not available, was yet to be developed after the 17th of August.
As an accounting officer then, I requested the chief to draft a turnaround plan. And for me, this is not a turnaround plan. And it must come from the practice owner of EMPD, which is the chief of police, to assist him, because the complaint, this one is an HR issue, and I do not want to accept it as a turnaround plan from the department. They had their own challenges on how to deal with issues. Hence, I requested the turnaround plan from the chief of police. Linda Gashega is not a practice owner in terms of the operations of the department.
And you testified that to date, you have not received such a turnaround plan. Well, I take it until you retired.
Can I just make sure I understand why what you're saying is consistent with what is in this document? You say in paragraph 81.3, during this meeting I expressed a concern, and then you say among the issues raised were the fact that approximately 500 did not have firearms, an unacceptable operational and safety failure by MAPA. A copy of the operational plan emanating from this meeting is IM 14. So you accept that this so-called plan, operational plan, is a product of the meeting of the 17th, because that's what you say.
Yes, from HR.
Yes. So Ms. Gasheka did not go to a corner and make it up. She was in the meeting.
Correct.
These things were, according to her and you, these were discussed in the meeting and they resulted in an operational plan.
Exactly.
Am I correct in that? And that's what you said in 81.3.
Yes.
So this document is both a minute and is supposed to be a minute and an operational plan that came out of the meeting that you chaired, you convened.
Agreed.
Okay. Now, this being a minute, it doesn't say anywhere that Chief Mapia is going to be preparing a turnaround plan. Where did you have that discussion with him?
I had a discussion in the meeting that I'm requesting a turnaround plan, And we further had a meeting with him in the office on the 18th that he needs to produce a turnaround plan.
Well, in the meeting, you see, if you look at page 52, in the conclusion, you say it records the Chief of Police or Acting Chief of Police will lead the city in ascertaining that the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of this plan is realized. A monthly report will be submitted to you as accounting officer regarding successes and challenges regarding the implementation of this plan. The plan must be reviewed at the end of Q2 to ensure that all strategic objectives are achieved. If you had, in that meeting, said you require a turnaround plan, when in fact your conclusion says this plan is going to be implemented, I would have expected it to be in the minute. And I do have a difficulty with that. You say something that's not reflected in the document that you rely upon as evidence of what you discussed in that meeting of the 17th. It's difficult for me to accept the correctness of your evidence.
But Chief is aware, and the HOD is aware that we had a meeting that we need a turnaround plan.
Thank you.
But how it was raised, whether it was raised during this meeting or it was raised in the meeting with him, because post this meeting, we went to my office, myself and HOD HR.
Yes.
That we need a turnaround plan. And on the 18th, that is when the leave was actually approved.
Yes. I think Dr. Mashazi, the important point about this is Chief Mapieye gave an account, his account of a meeting and what he says transpired at that meeting. Commissioner Spies gave an account of what he says happened at this meeting that you called. And he shared with us what he says are his notes of that meeting. You don't have any notes. You rely on what you say, Kasheka, prepared, but it doesn't speak to what you're saying now. And you say, well, I called a meeting, there were grievances. We don't see grievances here of the other managers. We don't see them. In fact, both Mapieye and Spee says only you spoke. When they tried to speak, you were shutting them down. You spoke and Mkhwanazi spoke. This document is not a minute of a meeting. Whatever Mr. Shega chose to call it, it's not a minute, it's a plan. That's what it is. And so the difficulty is to believe you, or to accept the truthfulness of your evidence. And that's a big thing that I think you need to understand why we are engaging with you as we do, is to give you the opportunity to explain to us in a way that we hopefully can get to, well, Mapieye was not correct when he said this. Spies was not. The reason we accept Dr. Mashazi's testimony on this is A, B, C, D. And you can't achieve that by saying Kasheka knows and Mapieye knows what happened in that meeting. There's no record from you.
The records are here, and I accept these records as the minutes of the meeting. How they are written and how they are crafted, that the Commission is not happy about, but these are the minutes, and this is a true reflection of what transpired in that meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. If you have any other file besides your own files open before you, you can close them, because I want to refer you to the Spies annexure file now. And in particular,
Annexure 5 is
page 96. And that's annexure RS 23. Page 96. Spies, RS 23, page 96. Species annexure bundle. I think we have all located the relevant page. Now, just to give a background to Annexure 96, these are manuscript notes tendered by Commissioner Spies. These are dated 17/8/2023. And according to Commissioner Spies' evidence before this commission, he indicated that these are notes he took, these are contemporaneous notes he took at the meeting we are having a discussion about. And he was engaged about the original of these minutes, and he indicated that he works off notebooks and he will avail the notebook from which RS 23 is copied to demonstrate that entries before and after demonstrate that they are sequential in date numbering. You understand that? I'm not going to subject you to Commissioner Spies' handwriting. I'm going to suggest rather that you turn to page 105 of the same bundle, that is RS 23, parenthesis A. That Commissioner Spies tendered as a typed version of that manuscript I just referred you to. And he testified before this commission that he did this on the evening, so same day that this meeting was held. I would like you to confirm, and I think if perhaps barring one or two people, the start of page 105 has got a list of attendees. It's got the date, 17 August. It's called CM meeting/EMPD management. It states the time, 1200 hours, second floor CM boardroom, EGSC. What's EGSC, if you know?
Is the head office, Eastern Gauteng Service Council.
CM boardroom is city manager's boardroom. So that's at your offices. Okay. Now, it then lists a number of attendees. If you cast your eye on that, will you more or less accept that those were the persons in attendance? You could compare with your own annexure, which is the minute we're looking at, and IM 14. And when I compare, the order is different, but the names more or less correspond. Do you confirm, Dr. Mashazi?
I confirm.
That attendees as reflected there?
I do.
Thank you.
I don't see Mr. Orchid.
That's why I say, barring a name or two, to a large extent, the attendees correspond. And I think there is as well a Miss Gwen who doesn't appear at 105, but appears in the minute. Hence the comment, but to a large extent, I think the attendees are the same. So, in fact, the list of attendees at IM 14 would appear to be more complete than what was recorded by Commissioner Spies at this RS 23 bracket A. And as Commissioner Spies explained, when he typed up this note, he typed it out verbatim from the handwritten notes he had made, with whatever errors there were in the handwritten note, and to the extent that some sentences are incomplete, that corresponds to his handwritten notes. So he didn't try to correct what he had written during the course of the meeting. That was his testimony. So I I want to place it on record that I'm not calling this document a minute, and you should not misconstrue it as a minute or understand it to be placed before you as a minute. I am putting it no higher than to say these are notes made by Commissioner Spies at the meeting. Do you understand? I need your confirmation.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Now, according to this document, and therefore Commissioner Spies, at the bottom of 105, and before I get there, every name, after every name in parentheses are initials, such that against your name, CM Dr. I. Mashazi in parentheses CM, and everyone's name is given the initials. And that's how he said we should interpret this document. So where he writes CM, and then that suggests what the city manager said at the time. So I go to the bottom of page 105. Against the letters JM, and from this I understand that to be Julius Mkwanazi. I want you to have regard to the last line of page 105 and the last sentence, no, the penultimate sentence on that page, and it reads, and I quote, another C Sapt, is that Captain Superintendent, Tepa, also have been arrested and not suspended and no steps taken against. That's quoting, apparently, Brigadier Mkwanazi's words. It continues, then another de facto chief Spies. I'm not even respecting and saluting him anymore. Now, I just want to test, if such statements were made in your presence by a junior police officer that he's no longer supporting, is no longer respecting or saluting his chief of police, what would your attitude be to that, and what would you do if it was said in your presence?
I would reprimand him.
Ma'am?
I would reprimand.
Your voice has dropped significantly, and I do apologize. You are tired. We all are, but we try.
No, let's carry on. Yes. I'm here the whole day.
by the look of things, it shall be the whole night as well.
I'm here the whole day.
Yes.
Please speak up. Please speak
finish
up.
Off today.
Yes.
We must finish off today. I really don't want to come back to this area. I would reprimand, ma'am.
Did you hear these words being uttered in your presence on the day?
I didn't.
Would you take issue? You remember I asked whether you heard them. Would you take issue if it was confirmed by others who were present that indeed those words
Exactly, ma'am.
Say that?
I will.
You would take issue?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's being insubordinate to his senior.
But would you accept if some of the attendees said they heard them, that probably you just failed to hear them, not that they were not uttered? Would you accept such a proposition?
For instance, this, whether notes or whatever they're meant to be called, I do not want to respond to them because how he took them and how they are written, I do not subscribe to this thing. I do not know. I have my own minutes, and I really don't want to talk to the issues that are raised. And the first time I saw these minutes, it was when the chief of police sent these minutes, this information or notes to the executive mayor on the eve of his suspension. So remember, this meeting took place in September.
17 August, this
17 August, yes. 2023. Yes. But they chose to sit with this. And for me, it looks like it's a fabrication because he was sitting with this and then he takes this to the mayor on the eve of his suspension a year later. I never had sight of this, and it is difficult for me to actually follow this. And I would believe that is a fabrication.
Are you suggesting the entire note is a fabrication? You spoke of twisting facts. What facts are twisted in this note?
I'm saying I only saw this when the mayor presented them to me, when Chief presented them to the mayor, and the mayor requested me to respond. And I responded fully to the executive mayor. Do I have that annex where I responded to the mayor? I do have the annexure, and I will send to the commission the annexure where I responded to all these things to the executive mayor. And the timing of Chief of Police submitting this to the mayor on the eve of his suspension.
Or perhaps the best way to do so would be that you make it part of the supplementary statement that we've been discussing.
Exactly.
So it will deal with various issues.
Yes.
Now, in this meeting then, was any discussion had around Chief Mapieye taking special leave?
In the meeting?
In the meeting.
The answer is no.
That it was never discussed at all?
Chief Mapieye, remember, he came to my office and
No,
said
I'm interested in what happened on the 17th. Was
on the 17th?
Yeah.
I think if I recall, I must be corrected, and because I forget, and I don't want to actually accept this as the true reflection of what transpired.
Yes, that's noted.
But I want to recall and respond accordingly in terms of my evidence that will be sent to you.
And my question was whether the meeting, the fact that he's asked for special
I do not
leave
recall that
at all, nothing at all.
I do not recall that we discussed that in this meeting. But I know for the fact that we had a meeting in my office where Chief requested leave.
So if at page 108, to the bottom of 108, the note reflects under CM, and I interpret that to be city manager, and attributes the following words to her. And I quote, "The airport is important and we shall partake in the bricks. Very little budget, you shall give uniform and firearms. Give them tools of trade. Chief, I can see you are overwhelmed and therefore you shall take leave. Get debriefed, rest and come back neutral and objective. Director North stated she's depressed and this is wrong. I'm normally not harsh, but I am heartful." And I'll jump to almost the end of that paragraph, third line from the bottom. "Mapieye, you shall take special leave and the rest shall report through Mzolo. If you are afraid / fragile or important, go to him for solutions." And I end the quote. Are you suggesting that all these words attributed to you, including the issue of the directive that they be provided with firearms and tools of trade, all that is a fabrication? Or are some of the words a fabrication and some correct? Where exactly do we land?
Maybe some they are correct, like the purpose of the meeting, but others I feel that they were fabricated, but I do not want to accept the authenticity of this document. Because
no, we're not testing the authenticity.
It's not a true reflection, and I really do not want to talk to it. That's why I said, can I be given a chance to submit my own response to these things? Because I did respond to...
So will you accept an invitation to return to come deal with your response?
I beg pardon?
Will you accept an invitation then to return to this commission to deal with your response?
I will submit the response in writing. I will not come to the commission. No, I can't. I'll get a stroke coming back here.
If you refer to your annexure IM 14, your IM 14 in your annexure file, I want to put a proposition to you that if IM 14 is a true reflection and it is to be believed, then Chief Mapieye going on special leave was discussed at that meeting, and I don't know why it is you are blatantly denying it. IM 14, remember, that is the Mashazi bundle of annexures.
IM 14, page
50.
50.
And that is the what we call the minute of the 17th of August 2023.
Yes,
So I say the issue of Mapieye going on leave was discussed in that meeting and ought to have been discussed in that meeting, notwithstanding your protestations. Because at 52, there is an entry there on conclusion which says the Chief of Police and or acting Chief of Police will lead the city in ascertaining that the implementation, monitoring and evaluation of this plan is realized. If Chief Mapieye going on leave was not even in contemplation and discussed in that meeting, the fact that the acting Chief of Police would execute that function would not even arise and would not be part of that conclusion, surely.
Okay, ma'am, can I take you back to page 51?
Yes.
The last column, integrity and standard function. This is referred to the Chief of Police.
Sorry, we're at 51. The first column has got lists of
The
items.
last one, page 51, the last one.
Yes.
That the integrity and standard functions, the responsible person is the Chief of Police. So she's using the words interchangeably so in terms of her reporting. So the Chief of Police is still there.
So the head of HR doesn't know when one is the Chief of Police and one is the acting Chief of Police, and she uses the terms interchangeably.
Yes.
Seriously, Dr. Mashazi.
Yes, ma'am.
I think, Dr. Mashazi, your explanation cannot be correct. On your version, Chief Mapieye on the 15th or 16th asked for leave for 30 days. So he was going to go on leave. And when you look at page 51, you can do randomly. That is in addition to what Ms. Silva is putting to you. That in page 51, for example, it says acting Chief of Police is to do that weekly, right at the top, time frames, weekly. In fact, you can start at page 50. Dysfunctional and collapsing of the department, time frames, week 1. So this has immediate effect, but you've given him leave, so it couldn't be that it's expecting him to be the one that's delivering. It actually says Chief of Police and acting. And so on and so on. You go to the next page, it says acting Chief of Police weekly. The next entry, acting Chief of Police and GCFO, 21 August. On your testimony, he's on leave at this point, on the 21st of August, because your meeting is on the 17th. So Ms. Tsasheka, when she writes here, she knows there's an acting Chief of Police who will deliver on the 21st of August. Chief of Police, 1 week of September, right at the bottom. Chief Mapieye is on leave because you've given him 30 days. So Ms. Tsasheka is making a mistake when she says Chief of Police. In fact, should be acting Chief of Police because on your testimony, he's on leave in that period. The same. In 52, acting Chief of Police, 1 September. This is consistent with, in this meeting, and if you like, you can say a side conversation between you and Ms. Tsasheka, but the probability is in this meeting, the issue of Chief Mapieye going on leave or suspension, whatever is the correct one that happened, must have come up. Otherwise, Mr. Tsasheka made it up that he's going to be the chief and he will be reporting on the 1st of September when he's on leave. Doesn't make sense.
Remember, these minutes were not crafted same day. Okay? They were crafted on the 17th, but in terms of the plan, the way it is done, it doesn't have a date. It might have been that already at this point, Ms. Tsasheka, or Chief of Police, is already on special leave. Remember, it was the 16th where he requested, the 17th, the meeting, the 18th, he left. The 18th of August left. The gist of the matter was the issue of special leave discussed in this meeting, which I say I am not aware.
No, Ms.
And I'm saying I do not want to give credence to these notes that I indicated in the meeting, and I would request the Commission that they should wait for my submission, my letter to the executive mayor,
Yes.
talking to these issues.
I accept, at least for now, that you don't want to discuss the notes from space. I'm discussing the minute that you accept and that you rely on. That on the face of this document, if you recall earlier on, I put to you that the discussion was translated into this plan. What we are told is an operational plan. When Kasheka allocates tasks, she didn't make it up. At least this document represents that the meeting agreed that the chief of police and acting in week 1 will do certain things, right? And this is week 1 after the meeting. And so those dates there are what was agreed in the meeting. And she could only say acting chief of police because she knew when this meeting allocated tasks in this document, that meeting knew that there's going to be an acting chief of police. And it could only be because the issue of him being on leave or suspension was mentioned in that meeting. Has to be.
Ma'am, I don't know if you follow my sequence. I said I met with the chief of police on the 16th, where we discussed these issues, and he requested leave, and I agreed to that leave. What was left was for the HODHR to check if he has enough vacation leave. Because if you check, unfortunately I could not print his leave record. He did not have enough days to take leave. Hence, it was the last option for me, even though I was reluctant to give him a special leave. If an important person like Chief of Police, being responsible for the safety of all the citizens, including his own or officials within the city, alleges that he is exhausted, he is fatigued, the reasonable thing that an accounting officer would do would agree to a leave so that he can deal with these issues.
I accept that.
By the 16th, ma'am,
what I'm discussing with you.
By the 16th, already we discussed the leave thing. Linda Gashega already knew that the chief has requested leave. What was left off on the 16th was for her to check days so that I can approve. But it became apparent that he doesn't have leave days, hence I gave him a special leave.
Yes. Ma'am, all I'm trying to clear with you is this document represents that your meeting of the 17th agreed that the acting chief of police will weekly deal with low staff morale and communication. That's an meeting.
Okay.
And it could only be the agreement because the meeting was told that he's going on leave. I'm not sure why you have difficulty with accepting that this is what the document represents.
I accept the document.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. And in fact, Dr. Mashazi, if you turn over leaf in your annexure bundle to page 53, and that's annexure IM 15, this appears to be a letter written by you dated the 18th of August 2023, addressed to Chief Mapieye and copied to Ms. Kasheka. And it's dated the 18th of August 2023. You see that? Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And here you reference a meeting of the 16th of August 2023, wherein you requested special leave due to the emotional strain you were experiencing. That's what you write. And then if I skip a paragraph, the next reads, having considered your request and after implementing mitigation measures for the efficient operation of EMPD, it has been decided to accede to your request for special leave for a period of 30 days, effective Saturday, the 19th of August 2023. You see where I'm reading?
Mm-hmm.
This letter is dated the 18th of August 2023, and it is countersigned upon receipt by Chief Mapieye on the 18th of August 2023. Why is it dated so late if you already had reached agreement on the 16th? Why wasn't this letter written and issued on the 16th? Then his special leave could have started immediately after the meeting of the 17th.
He requested the leave on the 16th, and because we had to verify in terms of the number of leave days that he had, and that was only confirmed on the 18th that he doesn't have leave days, hence we opted to assist him with a special leave.
Is special leave taken on the basis of normal leave days, or is it a special leave and it's a different allocation?
Special leave in terms of authority of the accounting officer. If an officer, a senior manager like himself, doesn't have enough days, when he requests leave, the accounting officer can actually approve such leave, a special leave, because he did not have vacation. Otherwise, he was going to be subjected to leave without pay, which was not going to be fair on him in terms of financial responsibilities.
But what was there to check when at your paragraph 81.1 you state, on 16th August 23, you held a meeting with Chief Mapieye during which he requested special leave. So you say special leave is different from normal leave. So on the 16th, already you knew that it's special leave that is required.
Mm-hmm.
What was there to check?
Firstly, if a person requests the leave, we must first check the days. We must first check whether he has vacation leave before we offer him special leave.
But
I'm
here
sure
you
knew
called
at that point that he does not have enough leave days, hence he requested the special
on the
leave.
16th of August,
Yes,
you realized.
Yes.
Hence my question then, if we go to IM's 15, it is dated 2 days after he requested special leave, after you checked that. Why is it dated only 2 days later? Why not on the 16th, on the day he requested special leave?
It is upon his request that he started on Saturday, and it is upon his request that he be on special leave because he did not have enough days, as we explained, HR explained.
So the emotional strain could wait from the 16th to the 19th, according to him?
To him.
Yeah. So his emotional strain was such that he could take another 3 days at work. He was good for that.
Well, it's up to him to answer.
Okay. Because he suggests that you imposed this special leave on him to the extent that you prepared the special leave and forced him to sign. That's his testimony before this commission. Hence, the strange start date of the 19th, which is a Saturday. It would normally, you don't take leave over the weekend. Your leave is for work days.
How do I force a person, a police officer, an HO or senior manager to take special leave? Why didn't he report that to the executive mayor?
Why didn't he?
He reported me to the executive mayor that I forced him to take leave. He should have done that rather than him wait until the following year that he was put on a forced special leave. He waited.
But if his testimony is anything to go by, it is what he was subjected to by the person through whom he directly reports. And the intimidation and the harassment and just generally protecting Brigadier Mkhwanazi. And that by this time it was non-negotiable on your part that he is leaving. Regard being heard to his summary of the meeting as he understood it, of the 15th, according to him, of August, where he brought the precious stones issue to you. And according to his testimony, you effectively blew a gasket and you said that he is being biased towards Mkhwanazi and he should take leave and go clear his head and come back less biased. And curiously, those are the same words that Spies records in his minute, in his note, RS-23 and RS-23A. So it's purely coincidental that he would note the same, he would record the same words that Mapia claimed you expressed to him. Or are you suggesting that they are perhaps in cahoots?
Exactly.
Exactly what? The question.
Cahoots in terms of whatever fabrication they made against me. And the fabrication according to their own notes, when they produced these notes to the mayor a year later. So they had enough time to actually fabricate and collaborate whatever information they wanted to. Hence, one of the issues that I'm raising is that we were not given enough time. They were given free airtime to prepare and collaborate and prepare documents so that they collaborate their stories. And it's unfortunate that we were given a week to look at all these allegations within 2 weeks or a week. In fact, within a week, because we received some of these things on the 25th of August. That's why I'm saying we will go back and look at some of these issues, but the notes that were made for me is fabrication, and I really don't want to spend time on them.
So then we must accept, remembering that RS-23 bracket A, it's the typed up version of the manuscript notes taken at the date of the meeting. So we must accept on your logic that the fabrication occurred immediately as the meeting was panning out. Is that what you're proposing? It's not a post-fact concoction by them. Spies was fabricating them as he's writing in the minute. And somehow they were in cahoots with Chief Mapie on that. Is that what you're proposing to the commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that logical to you?
What am I?
Is that logical to you? What you are proposing, does it sound logical?
For me, it's fabrication, and hence I said I am not going to talk to them, to those issues, because I only saw them a year later.
Okay.
When he wanted to mitigate his suspension on sexual harassment on the eve of his, a year later after the meeting happened. That is when I got sight of this, and I'm requesting that I stay away from commenting on these minutes.
And would you be able to venture a guess as to why they would decide to act in such a manner, in cahoots, against you? What would be the reason for that?
The reasons, all of them, for me, they came for a grievance session here.
No. Remember, I'm talking about the date you say. We know that note existed already a year ago. Why would they be so acting as of then? It's got nothing to do with the commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know, ma'am.
It just happens.
Just happened.
When did you become aware that they are in cahoots and ganging up against you, quote unquote?
During the commission, I was actually surprised.
But
when I see the documentation, sure.
But the note precedes the commission by at least 2 years.
But the notes were actually given to the mayor a year later. I saw the notes a year later.
So
that is
this
in
plan
September.
is not for purposes of the commission, therefore, on your version. It was hatched long before the commission was even conceptualized.
Can you repeat your question?
I say this plan against you by these members was hatched long before, at least a year, because you say it was tendered to the mayor a year ago. That plan must have been therefore, and it's supposed to be in relation to a meeting of the 17th of August 2023. So logic dictates that plan was hatched at least 1 year, at the very least 1 year before this commission was even conceptualized. Okay. Chair, I don't know. It would appear that the witnesses.
I wanted to say I think that this point has been exhausted.
Okay.
Now,
I think we're all hitting a wall now. We tried.
Move on.
We still have about 5 questions, I think, to go. and unlikely to finish, even at a push. We tried, Dr. Mashazi, we failed to conclude in a day.
Can we take an adjournment because if Dr. Mashazi is to continue tomorrow, that's going to impact on tomorrow's program. Can we take an adjournment, even though the focus of our discussion is going to be focusing on tomorrow's program that has nothing to do with Dr. Mashazi? Please join us so that you don't think we are skinnering about Dr. Mashazi.